Boker Tov, Rabbi. I'm going to go put the Zoom link on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I was about to do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I already copied the link. I opened the page. So
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Hillel.
jump on that. How are you today?
Yeah, you know what? Can't complain.
Link. I opened the page. So
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Hillel.
jump on that. How are you today?
Yeah, you know what? Can't complain.
Link. I opened the page. So
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Hillel.
jump on that. How are you today? What's going on?
Yeah, you know what? Can't complain.
Link. I opened the page.
Hillel, we've created some kind of loop.
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Hillel. Oh God. How are you today? We've got to figure this out.
You know what, Hillel?
I'm logging out of Facebook.
Okay.
That should help. Yeah, that was weird. So sorry about that.
No.
Whether I got to put my picture on. Oh yeah, that's the guava challah. Let's get rid of that altogether. I've decided to start a series of virtual backgrounds on Fridays for my yoga class. Will be challahs off of Instagram. Apparently it's a thing bigger than sourdough. Well, I mean, among a certain crowd.
Among a certain crowd.
Yeah. People that like that kind of stuff.
Okay, just. All righty, folks. Sorry, running a minute or two late, but just gonna get the paraphernalia on.
Oh, Miss Julie.
And we will get going.
Good morning.
Hey, Julie.
Good morning.
Hey,
Show us your pretty face.
uno momento.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, I got to get hoisted and, all that stuff.
Gotta get the cauliflower out of the oven.
Okay, so my friends, Boker Tov, good morning. Hello, everybody. Oops, got more people coming into the Zoom room here. So we're going to begin our services on page 6. Well, actually, we're going to begin with a little bit of Modeh Ani. I'm inspired by Julie, and she's here in the Zoom room with us. So we'll start with Modeh Ani. Hillel has kindly posted the Zoom link on the Facebook, in the Facebook comments. So join us in Facebook in the Zoom room if you want. Hang out on Facebook if you want to just stay in your pajamas and just kind of daven along or whatever. Either way, it's all cool. But we're going to begin, as I said, with a little bit of Modeh Ani. Modeh Ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechech ezarta bi nishmati b'chemla Rabba emunatecha Modeh Ani lefanecha Melechai v'kayam shechech ezarta bi nishmati b'chemla Rabba emunatecha. Nice touch. All righty, invite people to please rise as we turn to page 6 for the Birchot HaShachar for the morning blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech vivin alevchim ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tzama'o. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shetzali kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim et tzedek gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanotein le'ayef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir she'eino minno. Neinu ayom v'chol yom lechem lechesed arachami be'nechu nekreinu v'tikneinu chasadim tovim. Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. Turning now to page 14 for Psalm 30. Mizmor shir Chanukat habayit leDavid aramim chad ma'kitlus. Leheman yizamecha chavod v'loidam Adonai Elohai le'olam odeka. Between our Facebook page and here in the Minyan, we have we do have enough for we do have a Minyan for Kaddish. So page 15, anyone currently reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, observing yard site, invite you to join with me. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam elomei almayim. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitmaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'elah min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. We all rise now as we turn to page 16 and continue with Psukei Zimra and Baruch Shemar. Baruch Shemar v'haya olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Oseh v'reishit, Baruch Omer v'yoseh, Baruch Ozer Mekayem, Baruch Merachem al haaretz, Baruch Merachem al briot, Baruch Meshalem tzarchatov lireav, Baruch Chai la'ad v'kaim l'netzach, Baruch Podeo Matzil, Baruch Shemo, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha'el ha'avarach haman ha'mich v'lo b'fiyam. Yachid Chei Halmi Melech Mishubakim for Adet Shmo Gadol Baruch atah Adonai Melech Mechulal B'Tishbachot. May be seated, page 21. Ashrei Yoshev Beitecha Od Yalucha Selah Ashrei Shekacha Lo Ashrei Shnei Lo Hatila LeDavid Aramim Chalkai Melech Baruch Hashem Chali Olam Ba'ed B'Chol Yom Avechach. Tehillat Adonai Yadaber Pivi Barka Vasasham Kucho Le'olam Ba'ed V'anach Nerech Yam Yatav Elam. Hallelujah, 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 nafshi et Adonai. Adonai shomer et gerim yatam b'yamanai aded v'derech yishim yaveh timlocha ma'le'elam elahai tzion l'rabador. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Mahagid Rav Yaakov, Hukav Mishpatav L'Yisrael, Lo Asachen L'Chol Goy Mishpatim Bel Yid'um, Hallelujah, 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 Et Adonai Min HaShamayim, Hallelujah, Ba'meromim, Hallelujah, Kol Ha'chav. Vayaren Karen Le'amot Hilelechol Chasidav Livnei Yisrael Am Krovo. Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Shir Ma'ashir Chadash Tzidav B'chach Chasidim. Yismach Yisrael B'Sav. לאסור מאחריכם בזיקים ונכבדיכם וכבלי ברזל, לעשות במשפט כתוב, הדחו לכל חסידיו, הללויה, 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 אל בקודשו, הללוהו, פרקי זו, הללוהו בראותיו. Hallelujah, v'tziltzlei shema halu, v'tziltzlei trua. Kol anshama telel yah, hallelujah, kol anshama telel yah, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen. Baruch Adonai mitzvah shechin Yerushalayim, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim melech Yisrael, seini float levado. Baruch Shem kavado le'olam, v'yimlech od al aretz, amen, ve'amen. Okay, just want to check the comment section, make sure everything is going okay. Looks like everything has gone okay. Okay, so we continue on the top of page 29, Yishtabach, with your permission. Yishtabach Shimchal Yad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaKadosh V'Shamayim V'Aretz Ki L'Chanel. Brachot vodot mitav yad olam, Baruch ata Adonai el melech ado batishbachot, ela odaot Adonai niflaot, habacher b'shrei zimra, melech ha'olamim, yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabam, v'alma divrach yutevim lichmachutei, b'chayechonav yamechonav v'chayecho b'et Yisrael, b'agalav izman kariv yimru, amen, yehi shmei rabam avarach le'olam l'me'al maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitmam v'yanaseh, v'yitadav v'talev v'tlal shmei d'kudisha, Brichu leila min kober chatav v'shiratav tushbachatav v'nechmatav damiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. We now turn to page 30 as we rise, if you're not already standing, for the Baruchu, and this is an East one. Baruchu et Adonai Amvorach. Baruch Adonai Amvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or v'rei choshech. Say shalom uvorei et hakol. You may be seated at this time as we continue on page 30. Ha'me'ir la'aretz v'ladon lechorim. Kulam ahovim, kulam barim, kulam gibarim, v'kulam osim be'ema uve'eratzon kanam, v'kulam potim et bihem yushav Torah, v'shira uzimra, v'varchim shabchim farim artzim makdishim umamlichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol ha'gibo avanara kadoshu. V'chulam mekablim alechem omachut shemayim zeh mizeh v'notnim reshut zeh lazeh laktishatam benachat ruach v'safrav rav d'makadosha kulam kechad anim v'yomrim bira kadosh 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 Adonai tzvot melech ha'aretz kevodo v'ofanim v'chayot hakodesh b'rash gadol mitnasim l'matzrafim l'mitam v'shabchim v'omrim Baruch kivod Adonai mim kamol el baruch. Or Chadashati Antaya Viniske Hulana Meherali Robarachata Adonai Yotzer Hameorot Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu, page 32. Vavienu l'shalom ba konfota aretz v'tolechenu kmi le'artzeinu ki el poel yishvotata uvanu v'charta mikolav l'shon v'kiruvtan l'shipcha v'dosel be'emet l'dot l'chai chedchad v'yahava baruch atah Adonai habocher b'yamo Yisrael be'ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshachbecha v'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinecha uchkavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha v'hayim. Adonai Elohechem Emet. L'dor v'dor hukam shmo kaya v'chison nachon v'achotov v'emanatolet kayamet v'rav chaim v'kamin nemanim nechmadim l'adamei olamim al avatinu v'aleinu al baninu v'al dotenu. Emet she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'elhei avotenu malkeinu melech avotenu golenu gol avotenu yotzreinu tzuri shvatenu podenu matzilenu me'olam shemecha ein Elohim zulatecha Ezrat avotenu atahu me'olam magen u'moshir livnechem lechem v'chol dor v'ador. Tehilot La'el Elyon Baruch Hu Vorach Moshe Vnei Yisrael Lecha Anushra B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Kulam Mi Chamocha Ba'lim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nora Tehilot Osei Fele Shira Chadasha Shibechu Ge'ulim L'Shimcha Al Satayam Yachad Kulam Hodu B'Imlichu Ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed to Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Uvdech Yimecha Yehuda V'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch At Adonai Kal Yisrael. Amidah begins page 36b. We join together for the opening blessings. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei Mehem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Fokei Moshiach Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Abraham Ufoked Sarah Ata Gibor Le'elam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Ata Rab Lo Shia Mashiv HaRuach U'Merida Gashem Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem U'Menato L'Shenei Afar Michamocha Bal Giburot U'Midomelach Melech Memit Mechayim Atzmiach Yeshua B'Ne'eman Ata L'Achiot Meitim Baruch Ata Adonai Mechayei HaMeitim. Nekadesh et Shemcha B'Lam Kashem Shmakti Shimoto B'Shmei Maron Kakatu Vayad V'V'yecha V'Karazeh El Zev Yamar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech Haaretz Kevodo, L'matam Baruch Yameru. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mikamov, Divrei Kochacha Katuv Lemor. Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohai Tzion L'dor V'ador, Hallelujah. L'dor V'ador Nagigo Lecha Netzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakish. V'shivchacha Elohim Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed. Ki Amel Kadosh V'Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. All righty. And now we continue. Page 62, Tachna. Vayomer David el Gad Sar li ma'od nipla nabi. Yevoshu v'mikolavai yeshu yevoshu graga. Shomer Shomer Yisrael Shemo Sherit Yisrael Shomer Shomer Yisrael Shemo Sherit Yisrael Ve'al Yovad Yisrael Ve'al Yovad Yisrael Ha'omrim Ha'omrim Shema Yisrael Shomer Shomer Goy Echad Shemo Sherit Am Echad Shomer Shomer Goy Echad Shemo Sherit Am Echad Ve'al Yovad Goy Echad Ve'al Yovad Goy Echad Am Yachadim Shimcha Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shomer Shomer Goy Kadosh Shemo Sherit Am Kadosh Shomer Shomer Goy Kadosh Shemo Sherit Am Kadosh Ve'al Yovad Goy Kadosh Ve'al Yovad Goy Kadosh Am Shalshim V'shalosh Kedushot LeKadosh Mitritzei V'rachmim Chitritzei. Reinu Elohishenu al Tabar Kavod Shemecha, Batzilenu V'chapetenu L'man Shemecha, Yikadal B'Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, V'Yalmad Yibrachute V'Mlich Malchute, B'Chayachanu V'Yamechanu V'Chayrecha Beit Yisrael, B'Agalav Yizman Kariv Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam L'Me'al Maya, Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitma V'Yamnaseh, V'Yitadav V'Yitalev V'Tlal Shmei D'Kudisha, B'Richu Le'elam Min Kover Chata V'Shirata Tushbachata V'Nechmata, D'Amiran B'Yama V'Yimru. Amen. All righty. So, my friends, in lieu of our Torah reading, hold on. Okay, sorry. I was just checking out the comments to make sure there wasn't any technical disasters going on. So in lieu of our Torah reading, we're going to do a little bit of Torah study. So we'll begin with the blessing for Torah study. If you have something to wish you want to dedicate this, send out a little bit of kind of intentful love and concentration on, I invite you to either share it in the comments or just hold it within your heart. I'll just share with you that mine right now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this week, and as I've mentioned at every class where I've done this blessing, is that for this next week that we are as engaged and good citizens and vote, but that we're also as calm and as respectful and compassionate with one another as we can be under such really just incredibly anxious and stressful times. We join together with the blessing for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. You are God, the source of all life, and we're grateful for the flow of life that brings us to moments like this, where we can learn, grow, and hopefully do human better. Amen. Okay. So this week's Torah portion, still Lech Lecha, still the same as it was on Monday. And what I'd like to be able to do, Jerome, is there an election coming up? What I'd like to be able to do is just share this one little thought that I picked up on in a commentary that I was reading earlier this week, and just to play with it for a second. And that is in chapter 15 in this week's Torah portion, chapter 15 of the book of Genesis. It begins with the following. Sometime later, the word of the Lord came to Avram in a vision, and he said, and it goes on, "Fear not, Avram, I am your shield to you, and your reward will be very great." And here Avram points out to God that, God has made this promise of land and progeny, and God's delivered on the land part, but there's still no children. And God takes Avram out and shows him the sky and says, basically, look at the stars, right? Look at the stars and know that your descendants will be as numerous as the stars. And then he invites Abraham to enter into a covenant, which is referred to as the covenant of the pieces. And Abraham takes these different animals, cuts them in pieces, and walks between these animals. And the idea, this is an ancient custom, the idea being that we make an agreement, and may your fate be like these animals if you break this agreement. Right, that's the symbolism behind the what's referred to as the Brit HaBitarim, the covenant of pieces. And then he concludes it. He concludes this particular act, this particular covenant. And here's the interesting thing: all of this is taking place, one assumes, in the evening, at nighttime. Right? Because it begins with Abraham had a vision, and our assumption is that he had a vision meant he was dreaming. Right? And that God takes him out and shows him the stars and says, your descendants will be like, as numerous as stars, and Abraham considers it as righteous, right? We assume all of that to take place at night. However, if you go on, it says in verse 17, right, after describing this, when the sun set and it was very dark. What do you mean when the sun set? I thought the sun had already set. I thought all of this was taking place at night. Now, there's different ways of resolving this. One is to say, well, it started at night and then it moved to the morning and during the day. And then when the sun set, Abraham has this vision. There appeared, as it says, a smoking oven and a flaming torch, which passed between those pieces. And on that day, the Lord made a covenant with Avram. Okay, so we can kind of spread it out. However, it's actually more interesting and more fun to think that maybe this was occurring during the day. We assume that Abraham was having a vision at night, and therefore God takes him out and he can see the stars because it's dark. But it's more fun, I think, to just assume that this was actually occurring during the daytime, right? Abraham had this vision during the day, and God takes him out of the tent and shows him the stars. But of course, here's the thing: can't see the stars, right? And yet, maybe that's really the greatness of Abraham's faith. Maybe Abraham was taken out of the tent by God and told to look at the sky. And yeah, you can't see the stars, but you know they're there. You might not be able to see your descendants, but I'm telling you, they are there. They will be coming, right? And so Abraham's faith is not affirmed by his seeing what God has done at that moment by looking at the stars, but Abraham's faith is his ability to see that which is in fact not visible, but that he believes because of his experience, because of his relationship with God, because of how he intuits these things. He believes that it will happen. He has faith that it will happen. But his faith, it's not a blind faith per se, but it's a faith in that which one can't see. And there's a difference between those things. Blind faith is just saying, oh, what the heck, just jump, right? It'll all be okay. But faith in what we can't see is a faith that comes from in us, from our experiences, from who we are and how we've processed this world. And sometimes there are things that we just cannot see, and we really don't have evidence of them right in front of us. But we know. We know because of our experiences. We know because of our sense of ourselves. We know because of how we've interacted with this world. We know we can have faith. We know that even though we can't see it, ultimately, things will play out in the way that we believe they should, in the way that we hope. It doesn't always happen that way. Things don't always play out the way we hope. But our faith sometimes has to come from places where we really can't see it clearly. but just have to be able to hold it in our hearts. And perhaps that's the kind of faith that Abraham is modeling for us in this week's Torah portion. It's truly that faith in the unseen, in the stuff that you can't just reach out and touch so easily, in the stuff that's not apparent and that's not immediately visible. And yet, even though you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there and doesn't mean it's not real. Alrighty, my friends, that is our Torah for this morning. If you have any other thoughts about that verse, I remember ages and ages ago, one of my teachers at the seminary had pointed this out to us, and I totally forgotten about it until I was reading and studying for this, studying this week and studying this week's Torah portion. So I share that with you. And as always, I'm curious if you have other takes on it or other ways of looking at it, please feel free to email me. I always appreciate different perspectives and different thoughts on these things. All righty, we now turn to page 13 for Kaddish de Rabbanan. I invite anyone who is currently reciting the Mourner's Kaddish to join with me, but also anyone who, upon hearing just some Torah learning, wishes to join with me, you're more than welcome to do so as well. Page 13. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam lo me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidechon v'al kol Tamidechon v'al kol manda osmin baraita diva tra haden v'di b'chol atar v'yatar yehei lehon nechon shlama rabba china v'chista v'rachamin v'chayin arichin v'mezana revicha wherefore kana min kadam avahon yivishmaya v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Say shalom b'mramav hu b'rachamav yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. All righty, we now turn to page 78. Ashrei. Ashrei shevetecha od yaluchat salash. Tilat Adonai Darber Pivi Varkavasar Shem Kachole Laved Vanachnu Rechyam Yetzav Lam Hallelujah Lametzech Mizmor LeDavid. Hema karu v'naflu v'nachnu kamnu v'nito dad Adonai Hashem Elchinenu Yom Korenu Uva Litzion Goel Shafefe Shekovnum Adonai. V'yata kadosh Yoshev Tilot Yisrael v'karazeh elzeh v'amar Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvot Melchol Aretz Kevodo. Vatisa eni rach v'shmachorai korash gadol Baruch Kavod Adonai min kamod. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Vayivtechu v'chayadei shemecha ki lo azachar dershecha Adonai chefetz mansi kol yagdil Torah v'yadir yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba b'yamad yivrach yutei v'mlichmakutei b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayet chol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam l'mei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitmam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'tlal shmei dekudesha brichu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechmata damiran b'yalma v'yimru Amen. Titkabel Sultan Baton the Israel Kadam of Dishmaya Vimru. Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shamaya V'Chaim Israel Vimru. Amen. Say Shalom V'Ramav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Israel Vimru. Amen. Rise page 83 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoe haratzot velo samanu kimishpachot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malkei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim beyoser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al u'shchinatu zo b'gavhei meromim hu Eloheinu eino odem et malkeinu efes ulato kakatu b'torato v'yadat hayom v'hashevota elevavecha כי אדוני אלוהים בשמיים עמם, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו, על כן יכבד לחיים ולחיים. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. As we turn to page 84, we note that we're observing the following yard sites today. Those of Bobby Arief, Lillian Gardner, Samuel Goldman, Beatrice Hinwitz, Harold Herzog, Dr. Hai Jaffe, Emil Lazaro, Adele Rothenberg, Sylvia Sarto, Bella Schneider, and Miriam Sonnenklar. Also just want to take a minute to note that my dear friend and honorary cousin Hillel here is coming to the end of his 11 months of saying Kaddish for his mother. And even though the period of mourning is still not over, Hillel, we understand this to be a period of transition. And my hope is, and I know this to be true because you've shared it, and I'm so glad that you have been able to share it, is that this minyan, which has served as a place of comfort for you during the time that you've been saying Kaddish, starting with your father, now, with your mother. May this minyan always be a source of comfort for you when you're saying Kaddish, and in the months ahead, as you stop saying Kaddish, know that we're still here. We understand that even though the rituals of mourning start shifting, that people are still requiring support and love and care and compassion. And we will continue to give that to you as you have given it to us and to so many of us. So we want to acknowledge this moment. We thank you for being part of our minyan. And we hope that this next month of transition will be a time for you to be able to transition emotionally for yourself as you go through this process. We turn to page 84 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Invite anyone who's currently reciting the Mourner's Kaddish or observing yard site to rise and to join with me. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam lo me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitoleh v'yitolal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru. Amen. Asay Shalom B'Ramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru. Amen. We now turn to page 89 for the psalm for today. Hayom Yom Chamishi B'Shabbat Shabo Hayu Haleviim Omrim B'Beit HaMikdash Lamnatzeh Halagit Lamnatzeh Al Hagitit La'asah. Misanei Adonai Yecheshulo V'itam Le'olam Yelechu Michelev Hita Mitzor Davash Asbieka. Turn back once more to page 84 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal V'Yitzkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'Amlich Malchutei B'Chayechon V'Yomechon U'Chayei D'Chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'Vizman Kari V'Yimru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Lo Me'al Maya. Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitramam V'Yitmaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitalei V'Yitalal Shmei D'Kudesha B'Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush B'Chata V'Nechmata D'Amiran Be'alma V'Yimru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Asay Shalom B'Ramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Again, Boker Tov, everyone. It is good to see everyone, both in the Zoom room here and also online. Wishing everyone a good morning and a good rest of the day. And just want to remind everyone, we got our services coming up 6 o'clock on Friday night. We also have services at 9:30. And I believe that Rabbi Yarkin has a wee bit of fun planned for this particular service, this particular Friday. And it has, and I don't know why October 30th is a day that she's decided to do something fun for services or just muck about a little bit, but Rabbi Yarkin, she's so straight-laced and so conservative. You just can never tell. What's going to happen. So anyway, just wanted to mention that to people. I wish everyone a good day. Go out there, live, love, learn, and take care of yourselves and the people around you.